Alright guys, got another big old box from the Heritage. So if you watch my tutorial, went through how I kind of bid what I bid on. This is my most recent haul. So stick around, we're going to get into this box. Got a bunch of stuff in there. We'll see you in a minute.
John's got a mission to save the day. With comics in his hands, he leads the way.
Alright guys, we're getting dangerously close to the 3,000 subscriber mark. So last chance probably to get in on this. I think we're about 20 away last time I looked. So when we hit 3,000 subscribers, somebody that left a comment, you'll be entered to win this book. I'll randomly draw someone who's left a comment as a subscriber, and I'll send this to you free. So make sure you leave a comment on this video to get entered. Let's get into this box. This is an interesting one. There's some there's just some random really interesting stuff in here. One thing I'm kind of dumbly excited about. It's kind of it's silly good, I guess is the best way to put it. As always, Heritage is crazy with their packaging. Tons of bubble wrap, tons more bubble wrap, the invoice, how much everything cost, and then like always, we got a bunch of bags. So you guys know me, I tend to buy bulk. I usually don't buy one or two off books. I usually buy lots. So I'm going to pull all these out. Looks like there's 5 in total. I'm going to get these situated and we'll be right back with you. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open this first one up. I don't know how it's packaged. The best stuff may be first. The best stuff may be last. It may all be horrible in your eyes. It really just depends, I guess, on what you're into. I thought it was a neat lot, and I feel like the price was good, but I also think there's some things that may have been missed in the description. Just from looking at the picture of the 3 books they had, I noticed one thing they didn't actually comment on. So there's a lot of weird stuff in here, and we're just going to go through it. And this is from the same collection you saw. I had all those signed books that were signed by Jim Lee and John Romita. I think these are from the same collection because there's a lot of signed books here, but the boards also have the sign by on them. So there's some, you know, Wild Things 1, some nothing stuff. This is a classic if you are a collector in the early 90s, late 80s. Nomad 1. So there's a nice little run of Nomad 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, again, not really big keys. I guess Nomad 1 is a minor key. But then we get into signed stuff. This is S. Clark Handbaker. So Nomad number 1. This is I believe the 2nd series. 2 of those signed by him. And then issue 2, you know, not huge value. These are all signed on the interior, I believe. Actually, this is, oh no, that's 1. Okay. So yeah, I'll pop one open and just see if, I'm assuming it's on the inside, which is very common for artists. A lot of times artists back then especially didn't sign the covers. Sometimes they'll sign on a splash page. There we go. So it's on the inside. You can see right here along the bottom in silver, the safe signature. Not a famous artist by any means, but a bunch of Nomads signed by him. And some more just random Nomad goodness. More Nomad. So if you're a Nomad fan, this is pretty cool. This is another classic 80s book, Nth Man. It was a very not good story in my mind. I do remember reading it as a kid. So that's Nth Man 1 and Nth Man 16. And then some cool Hanna-Barbera stuff. The Pirates of Dark Water 1. Again, these are just random 80s and 90s goodness. This is a cool book. Raiders of the Lost Ark, the movie adaptation. This next one, so I'll show you. There's 3 copies of it. So the greatest 2099 series of all time, right? Ravage, everyone can agree. Ravage 2099, the greatest of all time. There's 3 copies of this, but one is the first time I've ever owned this, and it is a Ravage 2099 signed by Stan the Man Lee, right there in gold. Again, it's awesome to have a Stan Lee autograph, but to have it on such a horrible book is even better. You know, the value of this book alone probably covered the cost of this lot, just because Stan Lee's autograph does have some value. the fact that someone had him signed this book is shocking to me. But hey, I mean, if you're a big Ravage 2099 fan, I mean, you know, who better to have signed it than Stan Lee? So that's pretty cool. And it's cool that it's in gold too, with the gold, you know, 2099 framework. Then we have issue number 3. Again, Ravage 2099. It's not like a high dollar book. So this one's kind of cool too. This is, I think his name's pronounced Kazale, but this is signed by Mike Kazale. This is Ren Stimpy 1, and if you're not familiar with this, this is the scratch and sniff issue. So there was this inside of there, and you scratched it, and I think it smelled like fart or something. It was something really weird. I remember picking it up as a kid. That was the big thing, is that scratch and sniff. This is out of the bag, but it is signed by the, I believe that's the artist on the cover. And I grew up on Ren Stimpy. Like, that was my, you know, my SpongeBob. You know, that was SpongeBob for kids of my era.
It's long, long, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's long, long, it's better than that, it's good.
It was definitely funny. And then there's a second print also signed by him. And then an issue 2 signed by him. Issue 3 signed by him. Issue 4 signed by him. Issue 5 signed by him. And then the all famous Powdered Toast Man, issue 6 signed by him. You know, I'm a big Powdered Toast Man fan, probably one of my favorite superheroes as a kid. Obviously I'm kidding, but that was always a great character on the cartoon. But again, you know, whoever the person was who had this collection, it looks like they were probably a big collector of just signed books. You know, now you got to pay sometimes a lot of money to have an artist sign a book. You know, in the late 80s and early 90s, it didn't cost anything. You go to a convention and you go find your favorite comic book artist, and they were just there talking, maybe selling some books that they had. They'd sign your books for free. So it was probably very easy for him to get these signatures, especially if he got them back, you know, in that window of time, back in, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, before they really started charging for autographs. I mean, I can remember the 9/11 tribute issue of Spider-Man. I think it's 36 in the second series, the black cover. I remember getting John Romita Jr. to sign and do a little Spider-Man head sketch on it at a convention, and it was free. He didn't charge me anything. You know, I believe they were paid to be there back then. So that was how they made their money, was just they were paid to be there. But he was, you know, didn't charge me anything. Now it's $150, $200 to get to like his special show. Some of you guys went to Heroes Con, would have done that, and you know, it's not cheap anymore. So again, these were all probably signed for free. You know, even Stan Lee, I think, you know, if you had it signed back in that era, Stan Lee made a lot of free appearances. You know, as he got older and they worked him a little bit, you know, he definitely was making money. I don't know how much he was making, more so than his handlers were, but you know, that's just how it was. It was free. So next up, great book here. I always love this, RoboCop. I think this is the second series, RoboCop. They had the movie adaptation, and then I think they had a comic book series. And you can't ever go wrong with some G.I. Joe. This is one of the books that they actually used to advertise this lot, which was surprising to me. But this is Barbie #1. So it even comes with the pink card. So it's polybagged. It's got, looks like maybe you could use it to get some kind of credit back in the day. I don't know. And there's just some random cool, you know, goofy stuff in here. The awesome slapstick, some cool, the Semper Fi, the Marine books, Semper Fi 1 and 2, the always great Alf. A big fan of Alf as a kid as well. You know, love the TV show. I like that there's the Colossus is in the background. Newsstand edition. Some more Alf. More Alf. A little bit more Alf. Another Barbie #1. You know, who doesn't want a Barbie 1, right? I mean, that's everybody's dream comic book. My collection is complete now. So then we got a Barbie number 18 signed by Anna Marie Cool. I don't know. I think she did the cover art on this. I don't know if she did the interior as well. There's another Barbie 18 signed by Anna Marie Cool. And then there's an issue 1. Looks like the bag is signed by Anna Marie Cool. I don't know why people have the bag signed. I never understood that, like, because the idea is to take the book out of the bag and read it, right? You couldn't have that authenticated. CGC won't grade them in the bag, so it's not like you can send it to CGC or CBCS and have that authenticated. But she did sign the bag. It's kind of like when people have artists sign or do artwork on the CGC cases. I don't understand why you do the case. So there's another Barbie 1, and then here looks like a loose Barbie 1 signed by Anna Marie Cool again. If you're looking for a Barbie 1, I mean, hit me up. I might have one. I might be able to spare one of these. And then Barbie 28 also signed by Anna Marie Cool. Then we got some Conan stuff. Rich will probably enjoy this. Conan 232, 233, 241, Conan the King 43. This is a fantastic book, this next one. So this is the kind of stuff I like getting out here. Cops, The Job, First Day. I mean, that looks like a book, right? I mean, that's a read book. I need to read that one, so I'm going to set that on to the side. Another great book, The Destroyer, The Adventures of Remo and Chion. Remo and Chion travel to Detroit to take back the streets from Drive by Heaven. Yeah, kind of crazy artwork, but not too bad. You know, I'll probably put that in the read pile too. Your best video game of my childhood, Double Dragon number 1. You gotta love some Double Dragon. Not sure what Marvel was thinking here or who the artist was they hired, but that's pretty bad. Dragon's Claws? Nah, I never heard that one before. So Dragon Claws 3, 5, number 6. I mean, I might as well start to run here, right? Darkhold number 2, Sabretooth versus Darkhold, Fool Killer 1. I mean, who doesn't want a Fool Killer 1? Again, like the other time we went through this, I'm going to go through all these. So bear with me. Skip around if this isn't stuff you're into. You know, look at this one. Body Count. This is the Fool Killer Body Count edition. And then number 6, so I might have the complete run of the Fool Killer series. I doubt they did many more than 6 issues. I don't remember that being a big book. So I'm going to skip through opening this and we'll be right back to it opened. All right, got it open, so we'll get back in some more Ren and Stimpy. 7, 8, 15, 14, and then we got another RoboCop, The Future of Law Enforcement. Again, I think this was the second series. I think the movie adaptation was the first. So 1, 2, 3, if I can get it, 4, 5, 6. I'll just go through this. 7, 9. I mean, that's a great cover, right? Look at that. That's pretty cool. RoboCop, big full face. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good run of RoboCop. 16 and 17. So then we get into the, I believe this is the first one. This was the movie adaptation of RoboCop. And then because RoboCop did so good, they did RoboCop 2. Oh, stuck together, old bags. There's issue 1 and 2. Looks like 3. This is RoboCop 2, the movie adaptation. Oh my gosh, I remember this. This was a great one. Super Pro, the Super Bowl special edition magazine. I loved Super Pro when I was a kid. I mean, he's a crime fighter that was a football player, right? I mean, can it get better than that? So there's the regular Super Pro 1. Machine Man was a good one. We got another Nomad 1 signed. Some more Ravage 2099. Little Conan 242. And some more RoboCop So lots of just randomness in this stuff. Again, I'm going to go through them all. I want you guys to see everything. So if you're not enjoying this, skip around. There's more stuff. The second group, I think, is all Incredible Hulk. So I'll be right back after I open this. All right, so I went ahead and opened both the last two. So we're going to get into this, and then the next lot will all be Incredible Hulk. So we got some more Fool Killer. I don't remember this, and I mean, this was right in my wheelhouse as far as time. This was 91. I was like 12, 13 years old. So Fool Killer, nice run of that. Some G.I. Joe, always love G.I. Joe books. Some Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe with the card inside. Looks like G.I. Joe 135. So this is a cool one. This is Gru the Wanderer number 5. Signed by Sergio Aragonés. This is Gru the Wanderer 56. Signed by Sergio Aragonés. Gru the Wanderer 57. Signed by Sergio Aragonés. So we'll open it. Again, I think he's probably signed on the inside of this book. We'll take a look. See where his signature is. Yeah, right there on the first page. Pretty common for artists back in that time to sign on the first page, not on the cover. So that's pretty cool. Knights of the Pendragon, that was always a good one. 1 and 2. I believe these were Marvel UK books. Captain Britain, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are great covers, actually. 9, 10. Looks like John Bolton covers, maybe. There's Alan Davis. 14. Looks like this was a trade of the Legion of Night. It looks like Steve Gerber and Will Portacio. Scott Williams, so he works with Jim Lee a lot. One, I love picking up number 1s every time I can. Machine Man of the original. And this is I believe this is the second limited series, number 1. Holy crap, these are old bags. Number 2. This is a great cover here. It's just very plain and to the point. Number 3. And then some good shiny 90s goodness. Death, number 1. Death 3, or cubed. Death cubed, number 1. Mystech Wars. Come on, I mean, these are great. Darkman. If you haven't seen the Darkman movie, that's a great movie. If you're around in the 80s, Darkman. And then they did Die Darkman Die. So all 3 issues of the Darkman miniseries. The Indescribable Motormouth, number 1. I mean, who doesn't want that book in their collection? The Nom. I was surprised this book didn't do better than it did. I think you know, people were just weren't into war books in the 90s. But then there's The Punisher Invades the Nom. So 52, 53. Another 53. 69, 67, and look, guys, Nate, Eric, Dope, if you guys are watching, I got it, guys. Nightcat. Woo! I am sold, set, ready to go now. I got my Nightcat. You know, I mean, that's the great cover, right? Everyone loves Nightcat, so pretty excited to have Nightcat. The next lot, all Incredible Hulk. And again, pretty fair price on this lot. This is the one I think that they didn't list everything that was in here as well as they could have, which made it go for a lot less than it could have. But we'll start with a very classic. Everyone knows this book, Hulk 340, newsstand. Very nice book, probably a 9.2, but just really clean book. You know, this book alone's worth the lot. Then we got Giant Size Hulk number 1. Not Hulk Annual 1 because that's the crushing. Again, this is another famous cover. Hulk 345 McFarlane goodness. Again, that's probably 9.2, 9.4-ish newsstand. King Size Hulk number 2. And then we get back a little bit. Great Silver Surfer cover Hulk 250. This is a great homage cover to Incredible Hulk 1, 324. Really good book. So this is a good one. This is Incredible Hulk 332. I believe this is the first time McFarlane did interiors on Incredible Hulk. But this one's actually signed by McFarlane too. So you can see right there on the inside, that's definitely McFarlane's signature. You know, no question, and his signature is pretty consistent. He did change it a little bit up in the early days. Great Peter David story. And then 333, I believe this is McFarlane's second interiors with the Hulk. I could be wrong. I might be off an issue or two there. But this one's also signed by McFarlane. Right there again on the inside. So 2 McFarlane signed Incredible Hulks, early Incredible Hulks, really cool. And then 334, 335, 336. So nice little run of early, or early 80s or late 80s, early 90s Hulk. 337, 338, 339, and then we saw 340, 341, 342. This is a great McFarlane cover. 344. Always like that cover. It's just a really good cover. 346. Looks like 359 with my X-Man on there. Mr. Wolverine. 363. 64. 72. Looks like another 72. Great Gray versus Green Hulk, 376. This is always a great cover too, 379. Always really like that cover. I always like close-up covers like that. 379, 381, and then we get ready to get into some good stuff. So if you're familiar with the Incredible Hulk, Peter David's probably known as the best writer of Incredible Hulk. I mean, his stuff is just very good. He had great stories. So this is the anniversary issue of 393, signed by Peter David right there. So that's really cool. Then you got Incredible Hulk Wolverine #1. I love that. If you guys have seen recently, I've been picking up some of the foreign editions of different books. So this is La Masa El Incredible Hulk. So that's really cool. Spanish version. I love the foreign books. They're oversized. They're just cool. And then these were the reason I bought the lot. So Incredible Hulk 1, Future Imperfect #1. I believe that's the first Maestro. But what's really cool about this one, and you can't get this now because unfortunately he's no longer with us. But not only is it a very, very clean book, probably a 9.8, maybe a 9.6, but this one is signed by one of the greatest artists in my mind of all time, George Pérez. And it's just, I mean, it's just such a good book. George Pérez's covers were just phenomenal. He was always, he always had a ton of people. Like, there's always a ton of people. So you can see his signature is very clean and consistent too. So he signed on the inside of the back cover there. You can see there George Pérez. So very much his signature for sure. And then Hulk Future Imperfect #2 of 2. So the both books in the series, 1 and 2. This one's also signed by George Pérez. So I've also never owned a George Pérez signed book, but same thing, he signed on the inside back cover. You can see there in silver. So two really cool books. I mean, the Incredible Hulk Future Imperfect 1, it's a key book. It's got some value, but that is signed by George Pérez is even cooler. Probably won't ever get rid of that book, but you never know. I mean, if I need it to trade for a great Incredible Hulk book, I might. And then Superheroes #100, featuring the Incredible Hulk, last book in the lot. So all kinds of stuff here. Again, we got George Pérez autographs. We got Todd McFarlane autographs in this. We got Stan Lee autograph. We got Peter David. I mean, these are very, very famous comic book creators that are synonymous with some of these characters. You know, Peter David and Incredible Hulk hands down. They go hand in hand. McFarlane really broke out with his Incredible Hulk work. And obviously, you know, Stan Lee, his greatest creation ever was Ravage 2099. So totally get why that book was signed by him. But, you know, all in all, it's really cool to have these books in my collection. You know, I love Ren and Stimpy, so that's a cool run to have. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long and drawn out. Like I said, it's hard to go through all these. I don't know what books in where in each of these bags, so I just want to go through everything. Make sure you guys saw everything that came out of it. It's just me re-emphasizing how good you can get stuff on Heritage. So check it out. They don't pay me to say that. I just really like the site, and I've gotten some great stuff out of there. Don't forget to leave a comment. We're right at that 3,000 mark. Get your chance to get that book, and then we'll move right into another giveaway once we hit 3,000. So hope you guys are having a great day. Collect what you love, and we'll see you next time.
A hero rises in the night's embrace, with shadows dancing on a masked face. Pages turn where legends collide. In this world we take a wild ride. Claws flash out a metal screen. Cave shadows chase a fleeting dream. Webs entangle up in the air. Heroes heed the call when danger's there. Johnny's comic stuff take the stage. Bright and bold from panel to page. X-Men battle in the stormy tide. Batman glides through the moonlit sky. Through tangled webs and hearts made of gold, stories unravel and truths are told. Villains rise, but they always fall. Heroes stand strong, they answer the call. Spandex suits and a will of steel. A world of fiction you can almost feel. Stories that shape a hero's plight, burning bright in the darkest fight. Johnny's comic stuff take the stage. Bright and bold from panel to page. X-Men battle in the stormy tide. Batman glides through the moonlit sky.